And we're starting off this video with a big apology. Won't lie, I was panicking a little bit there, Kev. I was panicking. No, I just had a call from BCA asking me when I was going to pay for a car. Hey everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage, and we're starting off this video with a big apology. So, those of you that watched my last video will know that at the end of it, it was the day before bank holiday, and I was cleaning up my MGB GT in the hopes that I could use it for Father's Day. And I booked in a mobile mechanic to have a look at it because it was playing up. As soon as you put the battery power on, you immediately had the fuel pump going, and everything was a move too far on the ignition. It was trying to fire up too early. It wasn't running right at all, off the key. So I booked in the mobile mechanic. At the end of that video, I said, unfortunately, he'd missed the first hurdle and failed not to turn up because he was booked in at 4. And I think we were getting close to 5 and he hadn't turned up yet. Well, it turns out, well, first of all, let's see why I owe a big apology. So I owe Chris at Oakford Mechanicals a big apology because shortly after I finished recording, he messaged me and said, sorry I'm running late. I'll still be able to get you to you today if you're okay to stay a bit later. And bang on when he said he was going to arrive, he arrived. Got straight to work on the car. Did some testing of all the electricals, sorted out the starter motor I'd put on where I'd swapped a couple of wires around the wrong way, the new starter motor. He tested the mechanicals, he found a fuel leak, which I'd missed, which was great, and then ended up running a new power from, he tested all of the wiring on the ignition, so that is all correct now, but he found he needed to run a new power wire back to the fuel pump, and once he did that, it was running sweet as, but he didn't leave it that. He went through and checked some other stuff, like say replaced some hosing on it to stop some of the leaks. Did an absolute cracking job. Really, really great. Then it got to the end when he was ready to leave. I said, well, at the end of the day, it's running, driving, don't worry about anything else, I can sort the rest of it out. And I asked him how much he owed me. And at this point, he took the piss. Because he turned around and said, bear in mind he'd been here for, I think just over 2 hours, I think he'd been here, or around about 2 hours, maybe it's just under 2 hours. He said it was £35. £35. I said, you're taking the Michael. I said, there's no chance I'm paying you £35 for having got this up and running for me at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night before Father's Day. So I said, that is far too little. And I doubled it up and paid him 70, which for me, I'm well happy with that, to get the car up and running and know that not only did he solve that problem, he solved a few others. So today what we're going to do is we're going to get it off these axle stands on the ground, do a couple of other little safety check side of things on it, and then hopefully I shall drive it home tonight. So yeah, Chris at Oakford's Mechanicals. So Chris at Oakford Mechanicals, massive thumbs up to you. Cracking job. I'm going to put a link to his Facebook page down below. I think he is pretty flat out busy, which you can probably understand based on that service. I think he's going away for a bit or something. But if you're in the Oakwell area, South Molton, Barnstable, Bideford area, and you're looking for a mobile mechanic to come out and do stuff, yeah, highly, highly recommended. And I am chuffed to bits that I've got my MGB back. Oh, and again, apologies for assuming that he wasn't going to turn up. Like I said, I'd already recorded, edited and uploaded the video at that point to get some content out. So unfortunately, I didn't really get the chance to go back and edit it, but hopefully this one makes up for it. Now, in other news, I've been down to the main dealers this morning and I picked up 2 more cars. I've picked up, both of them are a little bit dinged up. You're going to have to wait until you see them. But we got one 2019 Toyota Aygo with only 4,000 miles on it. One lady owner, 4,000 miles on it. She part exchanged it in for a small 4x4 brand new with the Kia place, but she dented the sill, dented the front wing, scratched the front wing, and she'd only had it painted a couple of weeks earlier. She keeps catching the car and she broke the wing mirror off. So obviously we've priced that accordingly for the work that needs to be done, but 4,000 miles in 2019 on a Toyota Aygo, should be able to go far wrong with that. Fairly new for me, obviously, as those of you who watch the channel regularly, you know that's blooming new for me. So we'll be interested to see how we get on with that. Now the other one was a 2008 Daihatsu Terios, which never had anything to do with before, but had a look over it. It turns out it has the 1.3 Toyota Yaris engine in it, the 133. Having had a look at it, it was 80,000 miles, which is acceptable for 2008, and it had really good service history, but again, beat up. Front corner body kit damaged, faded wing mirrors, faded door handles, and the MOT, it runs till February but doesn't read particularly sweetly. It mentions that there's rust on top of the suspension struts and rust in a couple of other places that it passed the MOT on. There are advisories, but hard for me to retail a car with stuff like that without getting all that work done, and I don't know it'd be financially viable. I don't really know. Tell me down below, what do you reckon one's worth? The 2008 Terios with 80,000 miles, if it was all done up, what do you think it'd be worth? But as always, I bought both the cars because they're good to me down there. I get good stock. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth, and I always want to be the easiest person to do business with, so I will pretty much buy everything. As long as the price is fair, I'll buy everything. I'll find a home for it, or we always do. And so as soon as they're in, we'll do a little video on them. So as you can see, the MGB does run, and it runs off the key exactly as it should do. This is the type of Terios I picked up today, so it's got a dent in the bonnet just there. That bit of the body kit is all scraped and scratched up. The wing mirrors are faded, the door handles are faded. Interior is in good nick. I'll say the engine oil was really clean, the engine bay was really clean, it had a good service history. I just don't think it's the kind of thing I could really do anything retail wise with. And this is an identical Aygo to the one I picked up today as well, this spec 2019. So the lady scraped the front of the bumper there, and that's knocked the clip out here. She's broken the wing mirror off. She's dented the sill in here. But it is a 2019, like I said, with only 4,000 miles. So I think that one's definitely worth getting the paintwork done on, seeing if we can sell a 2019 car. Because it's an Aygo, it's not massively expensive even at that age. But the Terios I think will have to go out as is. Now I just had a call from BCA asking me when I was going to pay for a car. Now, you remember me showing you I bid on a load of cars a little while ago on BCA. And didn't win any of them. One of them being this turquoise Mazda. Now I need to go back on my video, but I'm 100% sure it said I didn't win this car, didn't it? But I've just had a call saying when am I going to pay for it. I've just logged on and it now says that I've won that vehicle, which is weird. I'm convinced it said I hadn't done. I wonder if they revised it and accepted it. I didn't get any kind of notification or something. I'm not sure. But it's a grade 3. It's got a BCA essential check, and it's a lovely looking little turquoise Mazda 2. And you guys know I really rate these 1.3 Mazda 2s. And it's a 5-door, so bonus. So we need to get that picked up, and I still need to get the Jeep picked up as well. So I need to find some delivery firm that can basically get both down at the same time, ideally. Struggling to organise getting them picked up. But yeah, I don't know what happened there, so I need to go back and check my previous video. Got Kev's popped by, and he wants to know what codes are in the Jag. So, because he's liking the Jag a lot. And he's definitely going to have it. So we thought we'd plug in the top don and run a check on the Jag. Mike, this isn't your silver Jag, this is my nice big Jag. So yeah, just so you remind people, actually, just in case you've forgotten what car this is or you're new to the channel, it's the 2005 XJ 3-litre V6 that we got from a house clearance sale that we've done nothing with other than give a clean so far. But it does have a restriction on it, a performance restriction on it. So we run all the codes and we get in tons, which we know we're going to get because the battery's been low. So we're going to clear all the codes and we're going to see what ones come back again. Now there will be ones for central locking because I've got a problem with the door handle on that. Got a problem with the window on that. We know that much. One I'm interested in is the engine, the one that's stopping the performance issue restriction. So I'm interested to see what happens if we clear the codes, with our trusty top on, and then run it again. Again, can't speak highly enough of this bit of kit. For the money, it just allows me to crack on and do stuff. Yes, I might still end up handing the car off to a mechanic, but I can resolve some of the simpler issues straight away, do some testing with it and get an idea of where I am. So yeah, massive thanks to Top Don again for sending it. I'll put a link in the description for one of these, but I think for under £300 to have one of these kicking around if you're playing with cars, you can't beat it. Right, so we've got one code come back, General Electronics. I might be tempted to start the car again. Battery voltage out of range. That's exactly what we thought, isn't it? That's why the suspension is probably faffing about and lots of other stuff is faffing about. But let's start the car up and then see what codes we get for the engine. Oh. Oh, we've upset it now. It doesn't want to start. It started every time normally. Right, let's I think we'll lock and unlock the car again just in case. Oh, we've upset it now. Let's see what it does. This is definitely Kev's fault if this just goes wrong, will I? Ah, there you go. The reason I did that was I had a feeling that the reason it wouldn't start was like a mobiliser type thing, which is why I turned the car back off and on again. So always do that first before you panic and think it's the worst. Now, is it still saying? Yeah, it's still saying restricted performance. So we need to know why it's saying restricted performance. So we need to run a report again. Let's turn it to the first step. I'm glad that started again. I won't lie, I was panicking a little bit there, Kev. I was panicking a little bit there. I thought, what have I done? Right, let's do another health report and then let's see what it comes back with for the engine side of things. It's as Kev and I were discussing this, it's got to be a sensor problem because the engine itself sounds sweet as a nut. So it is not unhappy. Still saying battery voltage is out of range. It's got a problem with low power for the amplifier. It's not actually coming back with anything for the engine, which is strange. It's got a problem with the Bluetooth on the telephone it's not happy with, but nothing for the engine, which is really strange. Clear that again. Maybe I need to move the car back and forward a little bit and see if that does anything to upset it. So yeah, the only code we can get coming back, guys, after moving the car back and forwards a few times and revving it up is still for an amplifier on a stereo. The rest of it is happy. So, I guess we're going to have to assume that the chap that told me that he got a code for a knock sensor, that's where we're going to have to start. But I think it's from here forwards. I can't comment down below if you've got any idea of how to diagnose it when it's coming back with no codes. Guys, we have managed to pull some codes at last. Knock sensor 2, circuit high input. Flight record data restored. I don't know what the hell that's about. Generator charge system failure. Load feedback circuit failure. Charging system low voltage. We know that's the battery. System check not completed since last memory cleared. Transmission control electrical. I think some of these might. The battery did just. When I turned it on then, the lights dimmed a little bit and flushed again. I think some of this might be battery related, but we have got one now for the knock sensor, which we were told before. So I think swapping out the knock sensor is probably the first thing to do. So while we're on a roll diagnosing stuff, we're going to have a go with Mike's Jag, because I think he's got his head that he might drive this thing around. I've told him he absolutely can't, but he doesn't often listen to me, do you, Mike? So we're going to plug it in and we're going to see what codes it comes back with so he knows what he's got on the engine front. So we're running another health report. Now the battery on this car was absolutely dead, so I think to get any meaningful results we're definitely going to have to clear the codes and run it again and see what it comes back with. So we have got some for the engine control module, but like I say, at the moment they're probably meaningless until we clear the codes and run the car again. So they only got one code back. You can't quite see that, can you? Let's have a look, see what that is. Onboard diagnosis, OBD system readiness not complete. Oh, okay, that's a bit strange because we're using the OBD. Let's start the car up and see what codes come back. So as you can hear, I've got the Jag running now. cleared the engine codes. The only code that's remaining is one for non-communication with the OBD, so that's something to do with the low battery and the dongle, I think. We have no engine management light anymore, but we have got, presumably that's a coil, not coil, glow plug warning. So perhaps we've got a bad glow plug. That might be what the engine management light was for. But we'll run it for a bit and then we will run the codes again and see what happens. Well, it just cut out because I think the battery is a bit too low, so I'm just holding the revs on, but now that glow plug light's gone as well. So I'm just going to hold it at these revs for a little bit, because the battery is absolutely dead, and then we will see after it's been idling like this for a while if we still got any engine codes. Well, I have to say she seems to be running quite sweetly now. Sounds like a bearing down here. I'd imagine it's aircon or alternator or something a little bit grumbly down there. But the actual engine itself seems to sound decent. We got any codes? No, we've got a clear dashboard. Let's take it for a run around the car park and see if anything comes back. Seems to boost all right. Let's give it a bit more of a wink up here. Well, again, evidence that a low battery in a modern car can cause you all kinds of problems, because with the battery back up and running and charging, what looked like an absolutely horrible diagnostics report on a car that didn't run very nicely at all now runs really well and doesn't have any codes. Let's see if we can't scare a code out of her. Well, there you go. So as said, what you're learning today from Chop's Garage, guys, is, I mean, most of you mechanics out there will know it, so sorry for teaching anyone to suck eggs, but on these modern cars, before you go tearing into anything and replacing parts, you need a diagnostics machine for starters. You need to be able to clear those codes, but you need to make sure the battery is fully charged up, because once you've got a battery fully charged up, you clear all the codes and run it again, you will find a lot of the time everything disappears. Those low batteries will throw codes left, right and centre and make a car run really badly. So as I say, save yourself a lot of money before tearing into something. Get yourselves a diagnostics machine. I'll put a link to the top down below. You know, get the battery fully charged up, clear those codes, and then see what comes back again before you start panicking. Because we've seen on both Jaguars today that it has solved a multitude of sins. So that's it for this video, guys. As always, thanks for watching Chop's Garage. I'm going to take the MGB home in the sunshine, and fingers crossed I get there safely with no issues on the way, because she has been standing for about 5 months. Next video, we've got quite a lot on. We just had one of the part X's I bought from the main dealer in over there, so we'll take a look at that, the Daihatsu Terios. We've got auction cars turning up. We've got the Mazda 2. We've got a subscriber car turning up, an automatic i10. That'll be turning up soon as well. And we have a really new car for me, I discussed earlier, 2019 Igo with only 4,000 miles on it turning up. So lots going on as always. Thanks for watching. Catch you again soon.